Have you ever sat behind a drum kit and thought, there's more in me than I'm actually getting out, but I can't get to it? You can play grooves, you can play some fills, but to make it really flow, it's something else. And why is it not working? Not because you haven't practiced and not because you don't know any fills, you just don't feel comfortable and confident to flow around the kit and just let it flow. And what does that actually mean, let it flow? Well, most drummers, and I was one of them, spend years collecting more fills. Memorizing new phrases, memorizing new chops, new cool fills, building vocabulary in a language they don't really speak. And I don't mean that to offend you. It's just because no one ever taught you the structure and the language behind great fills. And that's why you always end up playing it safe. The same fill, the same ideas always come out. And it's just a little bit frustrating, to be honest. And maybe it even makes you think, well, I'm not talented enough, or maybe it's not for me, or I'm not a pro, so well, I say stop. Don't say that to yourself. And I'm gonna show you exactly how you can create flow in today's lesson. Because there is a system behind every great fill. A simple one. Singles, doubles, and different combinations of it. And now, before you think, hey, singles, I already know that. Yes, I know. But the way I'm going to show it to you today is not something that's very common. And when you understand how to use it as a flow strategy, not just as a pattern to memorize, but as a framework to create endless possibilities, something shifts, I promise you. Because that's what this video is about, the homebase principle. The strategy I use to improvise every fill that I play, every time without thinking or freezing or hesitating. And by the end of this video, if you actually sit behind the kit and try it, you'll notice a difference after one session. So let's dive in. So let me start at the beginning. Why are most drummers stuck? Well, it's because they learn pre-made chops or licks or fills that are snare, tom, floor, floor, kick, kick, something like this. But when you learn that exact lick, you're gonna get stuck in that exact lick. And you're not learning how to take this lick or idea and turn it into something of your own around a kit. You don't have what I call creative strategy. And you're kind of stuck in this loop of the same lick instead of creating something that just keeps flowing, right? And that's what I really love. That's what inspired me when I was younger as a drummer. And I saw these guys like Weckel and Kalida and Benny Grab just play and flow. And it's like, how do they just keep playing with ideas, right? Well, that has to do with learning the language of which these chops that you're learning or playing or fills, what they're made of, right? And it's about the language behind them. They don't know any rudiments that we don't know. They know the same rudiments. It's just how they play them is different. And I found a way of getting comfortable to keep playing in this sort of flow-like state where you're just throwing out ideas which you don't have to think about. Right? And that's an approach that I call the homebase strategy. So the homebase principle is actually something I learned in meditation. In meditation, you can focus on the breath, and the moment your mind drifts off, you bring it back to your homebase, your breath. The easy way, right? Just a quick explanation. But in drumming, it kind of works the same with, hey, I have this little idea, and that idea of today is actually going to be right, left, left. So your home base is going to be right, left, left. If you saw last week's video, make sure to check that one out as well. Or if you haven't checked it, check that out as well, because it actually shows how you can use this pattern in different ways. But today is kind of a next step on that. Anyway, right, left, left is going to be the home base. It's going to be a pattern that we're going to repeat. So the first thing that we need to do is, hey, what subdivision are we actually playing? Well, for today, we're playing 16th notes. So here's a very important thing to note is that when we play a group of 3 in 4/4 time signature in 16th notes, it's going to take 3 full bars to get back on the 1. But we don't want to get stuck in a time signature in today's lesson. We want to be able to flow, whatever time signature, whatever musical situation. We just want to flow with this idea, right? That's what we're aiming for. So when you practice this, first of all, practice metronome. But when you practice this, the first thing that you need to do is define, hey, what are 16th notes at this tempo? That's always how I start. Just hearing the 16th notes in my mind first, tapping a beat, tapping a pulse, and playing 16th notes just with single stroke. So I know, okay, this is the tempo. Now, right, left, left, play it in 16th notes, creates a loop of 12 16th notes before it kind of lands back on the pulse, on a downbeat, right? And that's important to remember because that's the cycle we're actually looping all the time. But it allows us to play more freely instead of thinking in 4/4. I know, stay with me because this is going to be so worth it checking this out. I know it's a little bit technical, but it's very important. So that means that we're going to repeat the right, left, left first to practice comfortably over a quarter note pulse. Sounds like this. All right, so when I talk about right, left, left and flowing, we're not just gonna flow with right, left, left. It's the home base, it's the theme, the little thing that we return to. Now here's the cool thing. The only thing that we're actually gonna add is single strokes, right, left, and continue, right? That's it. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. That's it. It's so simple. One little pointer is that we play the right, left, left pattern with the right hand accent, left hand as ghost notes. The right, left single strokes I actually call the glue between your home base and whatever else you're playing. And as I said in the beginning, we're just playing singles and doubles. That's it. So let me show you how I do this. This is something you can't really write down. I have created a free PDF that you can download in the description below so you can see this, read it, and understand it better. So make sure to download that. But the next things that I'm going to show you is not something you can write down easily. So let me show you what it sounds like if I play right, left, left as a home base, a continuous flow over the quarter note pulse, and sometimes, just sometimes, add 2 single strokes, right, left, played as accents. Okay, that sounds pretty mad, right? That's just right, left, left, and right, left, singles and doubles. That's it, guys. I know if you're still with me, but this is insane. And it's gonna get more insane because it's actually super easy to create something that creates a really cool flow. So now we played only 2 right, lefts, okay? So right, left. So right, left, left, right, left. Just sometimes. So what we're actually doing is creating this spontaneous group of 5 sometimes. Now what you'll struggle with in the beginning is staying consistent with, you keep playing. You're gonna stumble, you're gonna fill, you're gonna go out of the time, which is totally fine. That's all part of the game. Just take it slow, keep repeating, keep practicing, because it's gonna get more awesome. Because the next step, the glue. Now, what if we actually create more glue? Right, left, right, left, right, left, continued. You can play as long as you want with the single strokes, as long as you return to right, left, left. So what I'll do now is I'll make the phrasing of the single strokes longer. Let's check that out. So if you haven't yet, download the guide so you can see what I'm actually writing down here for you so you can follow along. Now, I know this can be a little bit vague and weird in the beginning when you're playing like, but where's the one? It doesn't matter at the moment. We're just training our inner time to be free of whatever we're playing on top of it. We just want to be able to flow and throw ideas out. Okay, so what else do we do? Now we're going to orchestrate. And this is part of my creative strategy. So creative strategy. The first thing is actually, we already did that, is finding a subdivision, finding a sticking. We did that. Now it's orchestration. Super simple. What we're going to do is just move our right hand to the floor tom first, playing right, left, left as the home bass, and sometimes playing the right, lefts on the snare. So our glue is going to stick to the snare. Let's check it out. Now let's actually move our right hand while we're playing. So we're moving our right hand to other toms and cymbals if you want. Now, a little extra bonus tip here, when you hit a cymbal, add your bass drum to it. It sounds really cool. Check this out. Alright, so all this put together, right, is pretty mad. Now we're just doing the single strokes on the snare, but what if we actually move those single strokes over the kit as well? Let's see what happens then. Alright, pretty cool. I hope you're still with me because it's gonna get crazy. This is one of my favorite things to do. Instead of playing right, left, left as the home bass, we're actually gonna swap that last left for a kick. Are you mad? This is so cool. Playing right, left kick opens up so many doors and it's really, really cool. Now, there is more to right, left kick than I've shown in this entire video, but I just wanted to show you this right, left kick idea with the single strokes, and next week we'll actually explore how we can take that right, left kick and turn it into something that's even crazier. But check this out, right, left kick with the glue, right, left, right, left, right, left, just single strokes. And when we play the single strokes, we actually add some dynamics as well. We don't just play them as accents, but we play them softer, play them louder, create these crescendos and decrescendos, and play them around the kit. All right, so all that together creates a ton of possibilities, and it creates a lot of freedom. Now, this is the final destination. The final step is, hey, can you find a little loop on Splice or find a backing track on YouTube and play these ideas over 2-bar, 3-bar, and 4-bar loops and get comfortable not getting lost, but knowing exactly where the one is again. So let me show you how I play this with a little loop as 2-bar phrasings and 4-bar phrasings, so you can see how you can practice this to music, because it needs an application. You need to move from groove into this freedom practice and back to the groove. Let's check it out. Alright, so that's the home base principle, based on a single idea, right, left, left, and filling it up with the glue singles. So in the end, we're just playing singles and doubles in different combinations. That's it. Magic, right? And it's not something to memorize, it's actually something that can come up naturally without even thinking about it. What I want you to do now is get behind your kit or your pad if that's what you have available and try this out. Don't overthink it, try to make it perfect, but just play it and see what happens. It can be a huge shift in how you play your fills. So I really hope it has helped you to open new doors. Go and try this out. And don't forget to download the free guide below so you can actually look back at it, practice it, and try it out and understand the language behind it. And if this landed and you want to work through it directly with me, I work with a small group of drummers on one-on-one coaching. The link is in the description if that's something you're interested in. For now, I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.